Hashem, Elokeinu El Echad, Tzadik Hashem, Bechol Drachav, Bechassid B'ma'asav. Shema Yisrael Hashem, Elokeinu El Echad, Avinu El HaMeyuchad.
When you consider Hashem as a father, as a mother, He will be next to you.
Bishut Moray Verabotai, with the permission of Hashem, this week we just received the Torah, Parashat Yitro. And the parasha, we say that Moshe Rabbeinu, he had to go to Hashem every day to prepare the Jews, how to prepare the Jews to receive the Torah. And as you know, the Jewish people, for hundreds of years, they were slaves in Egypt. And then Hashem, Baruch Hashem, He decided to deliver them from Egypt. And then, Baruch Hashem, everything was perfect. The Jews were out of Egypt. A lot of miracles. Hashem showed to the Egyptian that Hashem is God, that Hashem is the boss, that nothing can be done without His permission. The whole world understood that the word is not whatever you want to do, you do it. There is Hashem. So, but Hashem give the choice, free of choice. You choose what you want to do, what you want to be. You want to be a tzaddik, so you can be a tzaddik. You want to be a rasha, so you can be a rasha. There is a choice. And the question is, when Hashem, He did so much miracles to the world, why HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He gives the choice, the free to choose what you want to do? I mean, why Hashem did not bring? I mean, when the whole world saw that Hashem, He is Hashem, and the whole world, as we say within as Hashem Moshe, שמעו עמי מגזון, חלה חזוש בפלשת, אז נבהלו אלופי אדום. The whole world were scared of Hashem. The whole world understood that there is only Hashem, only Hashem. So why HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He had to ask the people, do you want to receive the Torah? And they said, most of the, except the Jews, the Bnei Ishmael, they said no. The Bnei Esav, they said no. The Bnei Moav, they said no. And the children of Ammon, they said no. Only the Jews. And to the Jews, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He did not give them the freedom to choose. He just told them, or you choose Torah, or you accept Torah, or you die. So it's like they have no choice. My question is, why did Hashem, you know, when Mashiach will come, the Rambam said that when Mashiach will come, the world is going to change. How is going to change the world? V'yid'u ki ani Hashem. Hashem is going to prove that He is Hashem. It's not the money, God. People, they are going to understand that Hashem, He is Elokim. V'yid'u ki ani Hashem. That's what the Rambam said. The Rambam said when Mashiach will come, the Mashiach will teach the whole world that there is only Hashem, with no fight. just to prove them. So my question is Moshe Rabbeinu is not enough, clever enough to prove the whole world that there is Hashem? And that's it, basta. And that's it. Why Hashem still, after that the whole world saw what Hashem can do? The world, the whole world, they understood there is only Hashem. The whole world, they understood there is only Hashem. So I don't understand why Hashem, He had to ask them again, do you want to accept the Torah? Then they said no. Why? Why you Hashem, you have to give them the choice? Why? He should, now that everybody knows there is Hashem, that's it. So, Hashem, He can bring Mashiach from Shivit Yehuda, and that's it. And we're finito. Then Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed. Then Hashem, He will be the king of the kings. Yeah, forever. And that's it. Why Akadosh Baruch Hu, He had to give them the choice? This is my question. We know what the Rambam said, when Mashiach will come. There will be no fight, nothing. Just proof. All the problem that we have today, Safek. We have doubts. It's like there is a man tonight that is a millionaire, a rich man, very rich. And I was the guest of honor tonight for the Yeshiva of Hebron. There is there 360 boys, and they needed to build another store and another store in the yeshiva. So they needed $250,000. So I was there to help them, to talk to the people, to push them. Baruch Hashem, at the beginning it was very, very light. Then I stand up and I talk. The money was coming, like even the situation today in France, it's not very, very bright, but Baruch Hashem, suddenly everything was good. And there was there a man, a millionaire man, but he did not give one penny, $1. And I was so sad for him, because this man has no emunah. He doesn't believe in nothing. And even I was thinking what he was doing there, what this man was doing there. But Be'ezat Hashem, I said to myself, this man, when Mashiach will come, Mashiach will prove him there is Hashem. He will prove him. And tonight, there is a big doctor tonight, he told me a story. He told me, Rabbi David, thank you very much. I don't know you, but you did something incredible with one of my patients. One of my clients, she had cancer. And I told her to have a second advice for a kind of operation. And then she took some advice. And everybody told her that her life is in danger. And then I did not see her for 6 months or 4 months. So I thought to myself, maybe she went to another doctor. And one day, he told me this tonight. And one day, I saw her in the street, coming out from a shop, and I was with my wife going to the shop. And when I saw her, she was embarrassed. I told her, Madam, I did not see you. Are you alive? I thought you're not alive anymore. She said, no, thanks God, I am alive, Baruch Hashem, I'm good, Baruch Hashem, everything is okay, everything is perfect. So he asked her, what do you mean? What about your health? She said, Baruch Hashem, thanks God, you told me to go to have another opinion, and they told me the same prognostic like you. But one of my friends, she told me, look, all the doctors, they don't give you a big chance to live. So let's come to receive a bracha from Rabbi David Pinto. He will give you a bracha with the zichut of his grandfather. So they went to you. So she told me that they went to you, and you took the studies, all the exams, and you told her, do you believe in Hashem? And she told you, yes, I believe in Hashem. So you told her, if you believe in Hashem, if you have emunah, so be'ezat Hashem, don't worry, you have nothing. Go to another doctor that he will give you to do more exams and do them. And then you will see if there is something. So that means you have to do something. And if there is nothing, so there is nothing. So Be'ez Hashem, have emunah, that's it. So the doctor told me, when he was hearing the woman talking, he told her, so tell me please what happened. Because I don't believe. Don't tell me that you went to another doctor and they give you more exams to do and then they find nothing. So she said to him, Doctor, I have with me on my handbag all the exams because I carry on with them with me all the time. And she opened the handbag, she took the result of the exams and she told the doctor, please read them. So the doctor told me, I couldn't believe it. When I read the exams, all the studies, the new studies that she did, they were clean. It's like she never had in her life cancer. This is emunah. This is emunah. And believe me, that was the story that the doctor told me half an hour ago. He said, Rabbi David, I am a doctor, but you, with your emunah, you can, the emunah that you give to people, it's something that we cannot understand. And there is nothing I can tell you. Just thank you that you give emunah to people to believe in Hashem, only because this is really, emunah is the best medication. So you see, when the Bnei Israel left Egypt, the whole world believed in Hashem. The whole world believed in Hashem because Hashem, He changed the world. Everything, everybody, they couldn't believe how the sea could cross, the Jews crossed the sea, how the sea become dry all over the world. All the 10 plagues that Hashem gave to the Egyptian, Pharaoh that he was the top, the most powerful king of the world at that time, the big Egyptian empire, they were down at the feet of the Jews. So the whole world started to believe in Hashem. So please Hashem, now that everybody knows you, that everything believe on you, that's it. Bring Mashiach. Why you have to wait another few thousand years to come? Why? When Mashiach will come, please God, tomorrow or tonight, or the end of the week, before Shabbos. When? What Mashiach is going to be? What's going to be how can it prove Mashiach? Who is Hashem? He's going to prove them. He's going to prove that He's going to make some change. He's going to do some miracles to the people. The people, they will see how Mashiach can change the nature, so they will know there is Hashem. So Hashem, Why he didn't do that the same before? That is my question. That is my question. Why Hashem, he did not proclaim himself the king of the kings once for all when the Jews left Egypt, at that beautiful moment that the whole world believed in God? Why Hashem had to give them the free choice to choose to receive the Torah or not again? It's like Hashem begged them. He begged them, and then he said no. Each nation said no, thank you, we prefer to live our life. And then Hashem went to the Jews, and before the Jews give the answer, Hashem said, if you don't receive the Torah, I kill you. He did not give them a choice. So to the Goyim he gave a choice, to the Jews he did not give a choice. And my question is, why do you have to give choice to the Goyim or to the Jews? Hashem, he was proclaimed as the king of the kings when the Jews left Egypt. That's it. Let's carry on now with a good Jewish, with a very good God kingdom, and that's it. This is my question. So. Now that you know my question, I was thinking a lot about the answer. But before I give you the answer, I would like to tell you this. When Hashem, he wanted to give the Torah to the Jews, Hashem, he invited Moshe Rabbeinu to come to the Shamayim to receive the Torah. All of you were there. When Hashem gave us the Torah, you Cesar, you Haber, you Rav Sayad, all of you there. You were there. Yes, I was with you too. When Hashem gave the Torah to the Jews. And they were so happy to receive the Torah. And then Hashem invited Moshe to come up, to come to the Shamayim, to come to the sky. And Moshe arrived to the Shamayim. When he arrived, the Malachim, the angels, they told him, what do you do here? What's up? What do you want here? So Moshe Rabbeinu told them, I came to receive the Torah. So they started to argue with them, with Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu was scared. He was very afraid. He said to Hashem, please Hashem, protect me. Help me. They want to burn me. So Hashem said, no, fight them. Give them an answer. So Moshe said, please Hashem, I have no strength. I am only a human being. They have fire. I am only blood and chair. I'm nothing. Please. Hashem said, no, you have something. Big courage. Hold on of my throne. And don't worry. And give them an answer. Moshe Rabbeinu, he put his hand on the throne of Hashem, the chairs, the Kisei HaKavod, and he felt so comfortable, so secure, and he started to fight back the Malachim. Do you need the Torah? You don't need the Torah. You have no Yitzhara. We live in this world. Do you have a father? Do you have a mother? No. They answered. Do you kill people? No, they said. Okay. Do you steal from people? No. We don't live with people who steal. Okay. Do you eat food? No, we don't eat. We are angels. Okay. Do you have Yitzhara? Do you get married? No. So, do you go out with women that they are neither? No, we don't know what it is, a woman. We are Malachim. Okay, Moshe Rabbeinu said. So you don't need the Torah. You don't need to keep Shabbat. You don't kill. You don't steal. And the Torah, it teaches us laws, how to behave, how to be a human being, not to be like animals, that we need to have a purpose, a tachlis in this world. And the tachlis, if we don't have Torah, we will have no tachlis. All the time we'll be in Porta del Este, all the time we go to Eilat, all the time just this. All the time money. All the time just we will be thinking about how to enjoy ourselves, change a car, change a house, change a woman, go to the cinema, do always the last mode, clothes, Christian Dior, Chanel, ba-ba-bam, ba-ba-bam, ba-ba-bam. Hashem give us the Torah. We need to be, not to depend on the mode, on the fashions. We need a life, a Hashem life. What Hashem wants from us. So we need Torah. Torah gives you the solution. How to be a mensch, how to be a man. You can enjoy yourself, you can have a holiday, you can eat, you can buy the best clothes, the best car, the best house, the best furniture. You can live like a millionaire, but as a Jew. A millionaire as a Jew. A good Jew. With Torah and Mitzvot. So we need the Torah. In this world, we live with the Yetzirah. You guys here, there is no Yetzirah. It's Gan Eden. You live with Hashem. The Yetzirah have there is no room for the Yetzirah in Gan Eden, in Olam Haba. But the Yetzirah, here in this world, we live in a material world. We need the Torah. So the Torah is not for you. So the Malachim said to Hashem, Hashem, thank you. He is right. The Torah is not for us. The Torah is for him. The question is, why the Malachim wanted the Torah? Anyway, they know that the Torah is not for them. They know that the Torah is forbidden. This is what you can do. This is what you cannot do. So it's not for them anyway. If they wanted the Torah, it's like if somebody wants money, because he knows what it is money, what he can do with the money. If the Malachim, if the angels, they wanted Torah, that means they know what it is, what Hashem wants from, what it's written in the Torah. So it's not for them. It doesn't belong to them. They have no Yetzirah. So why they wanted to fight Moshe? For the Torah. It's not for them. I mean, Moshe, Rabbeinu, he didn't give them a special secret. He just told them that the Torah is for people who live with the Yetzirah. That they know that. So what really teach them? What did Moshe Rabbeinu teach them? What really teach them? The answer is that it was very important for the Malachim to show Moshe Rabbeinu that the Torah has a value, even that they have no Yetzirah, even that there is no need for the Torah for them, because they have no Yetzirah. But they wanted to show Moshe Rabbeinu that the Torah, it's the glory. With the Torah, the world was created. They wanted to show Moshe Rabbeinu how much the Torah its value, even that they don't need it, but it's hard for them to leave it go from the Shamayim. It's like a millionaire who is a millionaire. He don't need nothing. He has a lot of billions of dollars. Even that he has a lot, I mean, knowing the value of the money, he cannot just throw it away from him. He cannot give it, even that he don't need it, because he has a lot. Because the money is value. It's something. I mean, look, the money, even that he doesn't need it, this millionaire, but still, he can't give up half of his money. So the Malachim wanted to show Moshe Rabbeinu, even that they live in Olam Haba, they live with a world that there is no Yetzirah, and the Torah is not for them, but still, the Torah has a value. The Torah is not something, even that we don't need it. It's hard for us to leave it go. It's impossible for us. Then that's why they needed that Moshe Rabbeinu really to convince them that because they don't need it, and they have a lot, they have enough. They live in a Gan Eden. They live in a place with no Yitzhara. So please, they have a lot already. They have a lot of Kedusha. They don't need this parcel of Torah. This is for some who don't need. Please, Malachim, give us a charity. Let the Torah goes to us. We need it. That, my friend, that was the way. How Hashem, He wanted to show to Moshe Rabbeinu the value of the Torah. Now you understand something. There is something that I want you to know. On one hand, Hashem invited Moshe to come to the Shamayim to receive the Torah. On the other hand, He don't protect him from the Malachim. The Malachim, they wanted to burn him. I mean, I don't understand. When you invite a guest to come to your house, and you have dogs who take care or are the guard your house. When you have guests that come and you have very, very wild dogs, what do you do? For the kavod of your guests, you hide them, you keep them away from the guest. Just imagine, you're invited to a big palace, you enter the palace, and here you have the dog who guards the palace. They are running towards you to kill you, to bite you, to jump on you. And then you scream to the owner of the house, please, king, please, hold them. So what he tell you? He answer you, defend yourself. I mean, it's not fair. You invite me to a palace, and you throw dogs on me, and then instead of protecting me from them, you ask me to defend yourself from them. Is it fair? It's not fair. So, this is what everybody should know. This is exactly what happened in the Shamayim. In the Shamayim, Moshe Rabbeinu was the guest. I mean, Hashem, He invited Moshe Rabbeinu to teach him Torah. That's it. So Hashem, He should teach Torah to Moshe Rabbeinu. What those Malachim were doing there? Why they have to argue with Moshe Rabbeinu? I mean, that was not in the program. The program was not that Hashem will throw the Malachim to Moshe Rabbeinu and to fight Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu had to be afraid of them, and he was afraid of his life. That was not the deal with Hashem. I mean, why Hashem didn't keep away the Malachim from having discussion with Moshe Rabbeinu? Hashem wanted to show Moshe Rabbeinu that the Torah want to give him, even that the Malachim they don't need it, they want it. Yes, this is the value, this is the chashivut of the Torah. Hashem wanted to show Moshe Rabbeinu, look Moshe, even that you don't need it. Even that you don't need it, really you don't need it. But look, they are fighting for it. They can even knowing that you are my guest, they can kill you, they can burn you, only because they don't want that the Torah will go away from them. Even that they don't need it. Even that they don't have Yitzhara at all. That's what Hashem wanted to show to Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem wanted to show Moshe Rabbeinu the beauty of the Torah. The beauty of the Torah. That the Torah Kedusha, it's so strong. It's beautiful. I would like to tell you this. There is something that I wanted to tell you, my friend. And this is the base. Anyone who asks help from Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu help him. A man, look, you don't know what it is angels. You never saw angels in your life. Just imagine if you see an angel. You will die from fright. far away from the angels, we're not scared of them. Because even that when you do a mitzvah, you create an angel. But you don't see the angel that you create. Imagine if you see the angel, you will die from scared. Who can open his mouth in front of an angel? Look, even Moshe Rabbeinu, alav shalom, when he saw the angels, he was afraid. He was afraid. I mean, he knows that when you do a mitzvah, you create an angel, but you don't see the angel. Because the angels are fire. When they talk, there's fire coming out from their mouth. So, you cannot talk to them. You cannot see them. It's impossible. So, my friend, this is. So, Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom. Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom. When he saw what he saw, and he saw those malachim, even though they don't need Torah, they are willing to fight for it. He was afraid. So he asked help from Hashem. And Hashem helped him. Hashem, he wanted to show to Moshe Rabbeinu that, look, when you do a mitzvah, you create a malach. This malach that you are afraid from them. Look, Moshe, those malachim that you see now, that you are afraid of them, when you do a mitzvah, you create them. You should know, only because of you, those malachim can survive. Even the malachim that survive through the Torah Kedusha. That was very important for Moshe Rabbeinu to see those malachim that we create when we do mitzvot, but we cannot see them. If we see them, we die. So can you imagine, a man is much better, much value, more important than the malach. As danger can be a malach, but who created the malach is the man when he does a mitzvah. That means you, Caesar, you, Javier, you guys there, you do a mitzvah, you create a malach. If you see that malach, you die from death. But you don't see him. But it's you who created him. You who created him. That means Hashem wants to show to Moshe Rabbeinu how strong he is, the man who studied Torah. How strong is a man who keeps Torah and mitzvot. That he can create malachim. Moshe, those malachim that you see, those malachim that you create when you do mitzvot, they live only because of you. Their life, it's up to you. But on the other hand, how much it can be dangerous, those malachim who a man creates when he does avera, and he creates an angel, a bad one. That was very important. Moshe, as big as you are, you create through your mitzvot that you do, you can create malachim. But they can be very dangerous when you don't keep Torah and mitzvot. Because you can create malachim, bad malachim. But. Now you understand. Why Hashem, he had to show Moshe Rabbeinu what it is a malach. That's a malach. Now that the malachim, they agree that you receive the Torah, so now your duty is do mitzvot, create malachim. Do mitzvot, create malachim. You don't do mitzvot, you create malachim, but bad malachim, they can attack you after 120 years. My friend, now you understand something. When Hashem gave the Torah to the Bnei Israel, that was a special day. It was a very special day. Now, the question is, why Hashem he didn't proclaim himself God. Adonai Mloch Rabbi. Why Hashem did not proclaim himself God? That was Be'ezat Hashem. When Mashiach will come, everybody will know that there is Hashem. Now, when the Jews left Egypt, everybody knows there is Hashem. So why Hashem did not proclaim himself as God? And that's it. We don't need no Mashiach anymore. That's it. Finito. The whole world we know that there is Hashem. Vido ken Hashem. That's it. The answer is the people, even that they knew there is Hashem, but as long as the Torah was still in the Shamayim, the knowing of Hashem could not be at 100% in this world, because it was not Torah. That's why never people could know there is Hashem. The people could know there is Hashem and believe in Hashem at 100% only if the Torah was given. As you see, even that, the whole world was afraid of Hashem during the Kriyat Yam Suf, during all the Nissim miracles that Hashem did in Egypt. Look what happened with Amalek. Amalek, he came and fight the Jews. That means that the notion to know Hashem at that moment was not at 100%. That's why Hashem, he couldn't force the world to accept him without they want. That's why Hashem, he did not give. He gave them a free choice. Choose or not to choose. Then when he came to Jews, Hashem did not give them a choice to choose or not to choose. He just told them, look out, listen guys, you have to accept the Torah. If you don't accept the Torah, and you will really accept it, the whole Goyim, the whole nations, they will regret why they did not accept it. Then, through you, they will know there is Hashem. They will regret that moment that they said no. So each one of you will be like a Mashiach. You will prove the whole world that there is Hashem. But unfortunately, the Jews, few months later, they did the Egel. And because they did the Avodah Zarah, the Egel, so they destroyed the idea that Hashem should be the King of the Kings and to establish the new kingdom of Hashem forever. So now it's a fight till Mashiach will come. This is, my friend, the beauty of the Torah. I would like just to tell you something. On Shabbat, 2 weeks ago, I was 2 weeks ago, I was in Marseille. It was on Tuesday, excuse me. 2 weeks ago on Tuesday. There was a man who came to see me. He told me, Rabbi David, I'm sorry, I owe you some money. Last year I donated you 1,000 euro and I couldn't give you the money, because I did not have the money. When I heard that you're going to come to Marseille, I wanted to come to see you, to give me a bracha, and I wanted to give you some money, but I owe you already money. So I did not have the money that I owe you, and even if I want to give you something more, I did not have. I had only 2 euros in my pocket, 2 euros, like $2. And I prayed to Hashem. I said, Hashem, do me a favor. I want to buy a lottery. I don't ask you, Hashem, that I want to be a millionaire. I want just a few thousand euros so I can pay Rabbi David, and then I will have some money rest for Pesach till next year, till I find a job. Please, Hashem, do me a favor. I'm going to buy a lottery, please. If I lose this money, I lose everything. I will not have to buy a baguette bread for the house. Hashem, then you will destroy my Shalom Bayit. Hashem, I trust you. Please, Hashem. I was listening to that man. I thought, oh, I am a madman to listen to him. Or he's a madman to write me a story like that. I was thinking, how was going to end up this story? So I told him, well, Yehudi, please, what was the end? He said, well, I bought a lottery. And before I bought the lottery, I said to Hashem, please Hashem, I don't want millions of euros. I want 20,000 euros. No more. Only 20,000. I will give to Rabbi David what I owe him, and what I will have left, I will keep it for how to live this year, for my expense. I want to take my wife for Pesach somewhere, and help me for my Shalom Bayit, Hashem. I told him, please tell me what happened. He said, Rabbi David, here's your 1,500 euros. I want 20,000 euros. I told him, Michigan, you're a madman. Why didn't I ask Hashem millions of euros who could give me half? So I don't need to go to Argentina, I don't need to go to Mexico. Why? So he said, well, Rabbi David, I didn't think about that. I only thought, if I asked a little, that's what Hashem will give me. I thought maybe, I said no, because the way how you talk to Hashem, you could ask how much, even billions of them could give you. Because the way you talk to Hashem, you spoke to Hashem with such emunah, with big conviction, that was the time that you could, but, well, you missed the goal. Well, next time. But I don't know if there will be next time, but, well, next time. You see, my friend, through the Torah that Hashem gives us, we can change the nature. You know there is a Torah. You know there is a Torah. You know there is Hashem who gives us the Torah. For each mitzvah that we do, there is an angel who is created. This angel, you cannot see him. If you see him, you die. But don't forget, the same way that you create a malach, an angel, when you do good mitzvah, you do create a malach when you do avera. And he's waiting. When you do teshuvah, that malach disappears. The more mitzvot you do, the more good malachim you do, who protect you, or are waiting for you. And they are so dangerous that you cannot see them, but they are there to protect you. That's what Hashem wanted to show to Moshe Rabbeinu. Wanted to show him. You see, Moshe, if he did not ask protection, that I will protect you from them, they could kill you. But they couldn't kill you anyway, because they are here to protect you. Those malachim cannot, because those malachim, they are the malachim who keep the Torah. And now that they know that you came to take away the Torah from them, even that they don't need it, they are a little bit, a lot upset that this Torah, even that they don't need it, they could, it's like they could live without it. Now you convince them. Even that you did not need to convince them, because they know that they have no Yitzhara. You have Yitzhara and you need it. But they wanted just to show you that it's not easy for them just to get rid of this Torah, Kedusha. This is a lesson. The second lesson was, because the Torah was up there, it was not down here, as I told you now. So, Hashem, He could not give, He could not proclaim Mashiach without the Torah be here in this world. Only through the Torah. Be'ita ha'ashina. Be'ita is kvi'ot etim la-Torah. Only through Torah, Mashiach can come. Only through. If there is no Torah, Mashiach cannot come. I cannot come. Only with the zichut of the Torah. Be'ita ha'ashina. When there is kvi'ot etim la-Torah, so Hashem will bring Mashiach quick. So at that time, the Torah was not down here. And because the Torah was not down here, so it was not possible that Mashiach could come. It was not possible not to give free choice to people to receive the Torah. So Hashem gave choice people. Now it was up to the Jews to receive the Torah, to live according to the Torah, and then through the Torah they can spread big emunah the whole world, so the whole world will know there is Hashem. But unfortunately, they did the Avera. My friend, Moshe Rabbeinu went to the Shamayim. He fighted the Malachim. It was very important that Moshe Rabbeinu, he would feel fear from those Malachim. He is only a human being. It was very important to see them, to fear them. But, on the other hand, Hashem showed him, even that they are fire, they are made with fire, and you were afraid of them, you are more stronger than them. Look, you hold on my chair, and nothing happened to you. It's only an imagination. They could kill you, they could burn you, but you are stronger than them. With the Torah that you came to take, you don't have to worry. Now, my friend, as you know, how much all of you should know, how much you must have emunah. Look how many nisim, how many miracles Hashem did with the Jews in Egypt, how Hashem get revenge from Pharaoh, till everybody started to believe in Hashem. Pharaoh was so proud, orgueilleux, Baal Gava. Ay. A man who is Baal Gava, Hashem can't stand him. Now you understand why Hashem, he had to fight Pharaoh. He had to fight Pharaoh. Pharaoh, he couldn't admit that he is nothing till Hashem showed him what he can do. It's very important for Hashem to show the Jews that Pharaoh is nothing. Now that the Jews are going to receive the Torah, now that the Jews, they saw so much miracles, it was very important for them to see this big picture, big sea, a big battle, all the Egyptians on the sea, and they are on the ground, the Jews. It's like they see in front of them a big film, a real film. And they saw all the Egyptians, millions of Egyptians, drowning. They saw Pharaoh, his Pharaoh, drowning. What a emunah. I would like just to tell you, then the Jews came, Aminu b'Hashem u'Moshe. Now they started to believe on Hashem. So of course, my friend, if the Jews believe in Hashem, the whole world believe in Hashem, but they needed the Torah now. Every day, millions of times, we talk about Egypt. We talk about the Geulah, the delivery of Egypt. We talk about the miracles of Egypt. We talk every Kiddush that we do on Shabbos, on Chagim. Every time we mention the exit of Egypt, I would like to ask you one question. Why? In the history, nobody talk about this history, this beautiful of history. Why there is no evidence that the Jews were slaves, or what happened to Pharaoh, Kehat Suf. Nobody talk about that. There is not. We talk about Caesar, the emperor of Rome. We talk about Ramses. We don't talk much about those big miracles. About Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, beside we, the Jews, who talk about him, no one talk about him. How it's possible? It's not in the Jewish history. I mean, it's like nothing happened. Nothing happened. Tell me why. Just please tell me why. Why nobody talk about this beautiful story? You know why? Because this history has a link, has a connection with the Torah. Because Hashem said to Moshe, after the exit of Egypt, they will receive the Torah. And because the Goyim, they did not receive the Torah, only the Jews. That's why the history of Egypt belongs only to the Jews, not to the Goyim. Because the Goyim did not accept the Torah. Even in Egypt, there is no evidence with all what happened to the Jews there, or what happened to them, to the Egyptians there, because of the Jews. It's amazing. You know why again? When we don't respect the Torah, so the world, they don't know nothing about our history. Your history, it's only our history, not their history. Our history become their history when we keep Torah and mitzvot. When we don't study Torah, when we give more importance to other things beside the Torah, that creates that no one knows about the past, about what happened to the Jews. And for them, the Jews are a problem. So we need to find a solution, as Hitler said. The Jews it's a problem. We must have a solution. And what is the solution for them? Auschwitz, Shoah. Every time, this is the problem. But when there is Torah, the Torah gives you more strength. With the Torah, the Goyim will start to believe in Hashem. You know what the Hatam Sofer said? When the Jewish people want to look like the Goyim and to forget the Torah, so the Goyim, they hate us. They hate the Jews. They don't like us. They don't like us. But when we, the Jew, we think about our past, what we were in Egypt, our deliverance from Egypt, automatically we remember, we think that all what Hashem did for us is conditioned to receive the Torah. All the miracles that Hashem do with you, He's like, this is conditioned, with condition. Because Hashem knew what He's doing to them now is because to receive the Torah. First, when, God forbid, people they don't want to think about our past, about our liberation from Egypt, about Kabbalat Torah, which is our heritage, our Emunah HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it's a problem. Be'ezat Hashem, the more we are close to Hashem, to the Torah, the people, the Goyim, the nation, they become more interested about our history. But when we want to look like them, the same way they have no history, so for them we have no history. Finito. Be'ezat Hashem, soon there is Purim, few weeks Purim, then Pesach. We should not forget the connection between Purim and Pesach. It's on Purim. Why there is Purim? Chilul Hashem. The Jews eat not kosher food. and they saw that the faction that Ahasuerus did, big Hilul Hashem, they wanted to become like nations. So Haman came. You want to become like us? You want to be like us? Okay? You forgot your past? So Hashem, He sent Haman to remind them what they are. And that was a big miracle. So, what was the tikkun of what happened in Egypt, in Shoshana Bira, in the time of Mordechai and Haman, when they did a big teshuvah and they started to study Torah? Automatically, when they started to do this Torah and did teshuvah, automatically they showed to the world we are not connected to you. When they were not connected to them, so Hashem did the opposite. All those who wanted to kill the Jews, they were killed, and Haman was hanged. Pharaoh, he did a big Hilul Hashem. He said, who is Hashem? I don't believe in Hashem. What was the tikkun? Kirat Yamsuf. He died there. He died there. My friend, the tzaddikim do a lot of miracles. HaKadosh Baruch Hu listen to the tzaddikim. The tzaddikim are the boss of the nation. The boss, the command, like the captain of the airplane. He holds the airplane. He is the boss. The tzaddikim are the boss of this world. Through what? Through the Torah. Bel'azar bin Udariah, there I want to finish. He did a lot of averot with women. And then it was a big rashwa. And then what happened? He did a big teshuvah. And when he did the teshuvah, his name was not anymore Elazar ben Udariah, Rabbi Elazar ben Udariah. According to the teshuvah he did, all the bad things he did, they were off, finished. My friend, the connection Purim and Pesach, the Gezerah of Purim was stopped by Pesach. Always we have people like Haman, like Hitler, like Pharaoh, who want to finish with the Jews. Every nation, like today the president of Iran who want to finish with the Jews. He want to finish with the state of Israel. He want, but the only way to fight this man and to fight all those who are against us, Torah and Mitzvot. Only through Torah and Mitzvot we can have a strong protection from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now we understand how much it was very important for Hashem, very important for Hashem to bring Moshe Rabbeinu up there, to show him what's going on there, to show him that you do a mitzvah, you create malach. The malach, he's a killer, but when you have Torah, he's afraid of you. And Hashem did a big miracle that we don't see him. As strong he can be, we do not see him. So we will not be afraid. Otherwise, if we do mitzvah, we see the malach, we will be afraid to do mitzvot. So Hashem did that we don't see the malach. Hashem wanted to show the Jews other things. He wanted to show them, to Moshe Rabbeinu, how much the value of the Torah is. So the Malachim, even that they don't need it, and they have no Yitzhara, but it was very hard for them to let the Torah go from where they were. And Hashem said, look, those, even that they don't need it, they love it. So now that you're going to have it because you need it, because of the Yitzhara that you have, so use it. Hashem wants to show to Moshe Rabbeinu that because they have no Torah, so they still have their own choice. to receive or not to receive. Once you have the Torah, Be'ezat Hashem, you will change the world with the Torah, that the whole world will know that there is Hashem. But unfortunately, they lost the game, because instead of using the Torah to change the world with it, when they receive it, they did Egel, and then that's it. Now we have to fight with the Yitzhara, the big Yitzhara, till the end of the 6,000 years, when Mashiach will come. When he will come, the whole world will know there is Hashem. So, Be'ezat Hashem, I pray for you, I wish you Barcha V'Atzlacha, and Bri'ut, and Be'ez Hashem, Hashem protect you, and give you Arichut Yamim V'Shanim, and may HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you Parnasa Tova and Bri'ut Be'ez Hashem. Thank you very much.